I'm not quite sure how to tell you what I feel obligated I must. It's about him. Yes, him. It's the best pronoun I can find, or rather use, to describe this anomaly. Rest assured, this is no man. Something not of this planet. Possibly not even something from within this existence. Hell, him implies something living, and I cannot be sure anyone can call him that without completely rewriting the human language itself. Now, what exactly he is, I'm not sure. Whether he is some conscious being, far further evolved from humanity, or morale, rendering of this universe itself, it cannot ever be told. What is known is that he's an omnipresent being, as I will call him, and does, or at least can render himself, everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It doesn't make sense, I know, but ask yourself, does anything? Well, he's watching. He's always watching. Whoever can, those who know of his existence, they know everything there is to know about him hardly concern him. The only way to make him care is something that can only describe as a ritual. Granted, it's none of your stereotypical cloak and hooded figures chanting in the dark room full of candles, cultic foolishness. No, no. Something much more mundane. In fact, even itself is incredibly common, and I mean colossally so. The state of mind in which one must be in is the only thing which bars, and thus saves most people from him. And no, the state of mind necessarily is not having the power of true belief, or anything like that. What exactly the right event of state of mind are, I cannot and will not state. Trust me, it's for your own good. It may seem some cliched authoring trope of to prevent people from actually disproving the story, but is it worth being wrong? However, I will say that people have triggered this is coming to them, both accidentally and intentionally, for a stupidly large variety of reasons. What happens if he does come? Well, you won't know at first. This is probably for the best. It will buy you some time. He cannot physically manifest himself while nearby you, while you can actively and honestly deny his existence. So the most skeptical people usually last longer, at least early on. Your lack of belief will not stop himself from getting to you. He still show up anywhere outside of your fair distance from you, and he can enter it at will. The moment you set him loose upon yourself, his so-called game starts, but the real act begins when he reaches you the first time. The amount of time his development lasts is not certain, but the closest attribution was around 27 hours 52 minutes. That time frame has no real significance on Earth, so the actual purpose of it may never be completely discovered. I know for a fact that the longest anyone has ever had to prepare was just under an hour, but anyone who plans to summon him will need to do so before attempting, as you will never know for sure when he's been set loose. When you find for sure he is upon you, you get out of the location quickly. And any option for transport works, but the fastest way is the best way. Don't think you can hide, even in seemingly best places, or defend yourself in any way, even with the seemingly best weapons. People have tried, thinking that no one will ever find them in that spot, or that no one can ever touch them with that weapon, be it a knife, gun, holy book, or blunt objects. Hell, you could even have a tank and still not be safe. Also, be wary of that public places are no safer than anywhere else, and does not hesitate to make himself known to you. Everyone will see him and get to you, but he will pay no mind to anyone save for you, even with an entire army in front of you, using everything they have. I would not recommend running. as your only escape method, making use of modern technology to get far away is help save more than a few people. But you need to be careful. If you go too far away, you'll be able to manifest himself closer, decreasing the seemingly attributary barrier you can say teleport to. Hopping on an aircraft or train for 28 hours is not recommended, unless you know for sure you won't be traveling too fast too far. Some other necessary suggestions: to be sure to bring some substance with you. Going about 28 hours without food or water would be hardly bearable for the most modern humans, but be mindful not to stop for too long. If you can eat and move at the same time, do that. If not, be very careful. You won't know exactly how far away it is until it's over. Also, be sure you are well rested. Sleeping at any time in the period will guarantee your end. If you're one of the lucky people who avoids him for that long, well, I congratulate you. After the time period is up, you will suddenly cease to move. Do not be afraid. He cannot harm you anymore, and does not intend to. He will approach you, place a hand-like appendage on your forehead. You will instantly black out and wake up in your bed 72 hours and 52 minutes before he was brought to you. Once that's done, you have passed his test. You'll never be able to bring him on again. To say you've gained anything from it is up to your interpretation. But you will never remember the incident. No one else who may have been involved is going to, though, so it's your best to keep yourself and other to avoid the certain allegations of insanity. It's quite interesting to think about. Actually, considering many people will try to bring him upon themselves, trying to disprove this random creepypasta we found on the World Wide Web. Most will find nothing, and those who do will likely be forgotten within time. I know this well, but it seems a fool is always a fool, whether they are right or wrong. Just remember, sieste and regardant. I'm watching. I am always watching.